other locals. So Glenn was getting super used to the late bracket exposure, which does let him becoming a better player. Now, Riz has just been everybody's bracket demon for the longest time. Riz is just so good. He's so solid, both with Sheik and now with Metaknight under his wings. So let's see what happens here.
So sitting here, game 1 on Battlefield, and we already have Glentendo opening up with some decent damage, and he's opting to stick more to the ground and just sort of approach with aerial pressure and using the bombs and boomerangs to support that.
Now, what sucks about this matchup is that Toon falls under the category as one of those characters that just gets touched and dies for Metaknight, from what I understand.
All the little characters suffer that same fate where they sit in just the right size, just the right air acceleration, and just the right weight that Metaknight could just take advantage of them, bring them to the top for, no, I'm not going to say easy kills, but it's certainly easier than majority of the cast.
Toon Link's like a balloon that just has like slightly less helium in it, so it just kind of like hovers in the middle of the room for like 3 days after a party.
Yeah.
So like...
It's like awkwardly deflated balloon.
But Glenn actually has a pretty good lead right now on Riz, so I think he's potentially one bomb confirmed into getting the stock. Riz almost getting the up air into the shuttle loop, but that second hit just not going to reach. Second hit going to connect there, but not high enough for that to work.
I like the idea that Glentendo was falling down with the bomb in hand, just on the off chance that he was able to either use it to clear his recovery, or if he got caught by the shuttle loop and made him activated. That just happened. This man just charged that forward smash for the hottest of minutes.
That was like the most Glenn thing I think I've seen in my entire life. Oh, Riz only getting the two like most eventful hits of back air. And again, gets it again, only getting the soft hits, not the hit that matters.
It seems almost intentional for one of those weak gimps that slightly drags down. And
I can understand a lower percentage, that's what he was going for, but it might just be a victim of rage.
Yeah. And on top of that, Toon Link isn't really the kind of character that can falter from such a gimp like that, just because Hero Spin is decent enough for recovery alongside if Glentendo holds on to the bomb.
I'm definitely looking very comfortable right now. Again, Riz going for a dash-up grab, gonna jab through that tether grab, excuse me.
Yeah, Glenn doing a fine job attacking on this percentage while he's maintaining this first stock of his. Riz really not able to do much against it, and I feel like it's, as we were saying earlier with J-Law, that Metaknight only has so many approach options. Right. Regardless of how you can mix up in the neutral, you know the dash attack or the dash grab's coming at you.
Reverse hit of Nair will take the stock right there. So 65% on Riz, definitely very doable. For I feel like there's really not a percent deficit against Metaknight. Just because, again, you can just get touched and explode if you're not careful.
And unlike majority of the cast, it's smaller characters like Toon Link, where Rage actually makes things a little easier for Metaknight to secure those shuttle loop combos. So Glenn's going to have to act fast and either build these percentages up ridiculously, or, better yet, net the kill so that he doesn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, that would be helpful. He's doing a good job. He's playing the matchup correctly, not playing center stage against Metaknight. Riz just a little slow to draw on a few of these punishes.
Another thing I've noticed is that Glenn is consistently using the boomerang as a retreating option, but he always has something else ready, whether he's just positioned really far from Riz, he has an arrow or a bomb active ready to cover him. He's never letting it just stick around.
Right. Again, Riz sharking very hard for this dash attack into up air potentially. It's kind of crazy because, like, Glenn could still most likely die if he's not careful.
Oh, absolutely.
But the forward smash is going to connect, and Glenn takes the first game off Riz.
And Riz was playing fairly confident throughout that entire game one. At no point did it seem like he was ready for Riz to just slide in and slap him up.
So let's see if we have the beginning of a, maybe the start of a new streak here. Glenn going for the color counter pick.
All right.
Going for red tunic.
He wants that fire tunic. Make sure he's safe.
Yeah.
I don't know from what, but...
Nah, you know what? He's going to a concert. He wants to look nice. Well, he doesn't want to go to a concert in the same clothes he woke up in.
He's ready for KK to play those fire tunes.
You think KK gets mad when people break out in the fights at his concerts every week?
I'm sure he's used to it by now. When he sees the mayor taking out an axe against some of these people, it's just sort of like...
I feel like it's like part of the attraction at this point.
Smashville must be a very unfortunate village to live in. First and foremost, you got this flying platform.
The crime rate's through the roof. Shuttle loop into the upper end of the shuttle, not going to be enough just yet, but good amount of damage sitting on Glentendo right now.
Meanwhile, Riz not having taken a single hit just yet, and Glenn not really figuring out a way to even chip around. Riz has been very evasive now. Finally eats a little bit of the boomerang, but his pressure isn't letting up.
Yeah, it looks like Riz is finally starting to catch a beat on these defensive options that Glenn's picking. Oh, and the forward smash. I actually heard Glenn audibly yell no as he rolled from the ledge right there.
It was like that scene played out in slow motion. You just saw him charging that up. Nothing Glenn can do about it.
Hear the record scratch. You're probably wondering how I got it. But Riz is going right back to work right here. Good job auto-canceling the dimensional cape right there. Toon looks so upset as that game is over in just over a minute.
Yeah, that was a minute 20. There was no damage tacked on in that second stock.
Yeah, that was just disgustingly good.
Glenn was lost without a prayer in that one.
That's the matchup sometimes, man. Like, you're either going to win or you're going to get hit and you're going to die. Especially if, like I said, if the Metaknight is very proficient at getting that string.
Right.
And Riz has got that down to a T, man.
Now, the real question is, how badly did this manage to impact Glenn's momentum? Because he was moving in from game one so confidently, and within a matter of seconds, it was just gone in a flash.
Yeah, it's very easy to get mentally defeated, but that's also some of the pain that you suffer as you grow as a player.
Right.
Is that both bracket-wise you're going to level up, but also mentally you're going to have to get a lot stronger. So hopefully Glenn doesn't crumble at the sight of watching himself get decimated in a time where leftovers can't warm up in the microwave.
Yeah. I mean, listen, you said that he's used to this as far as his record with Riz goes.
Yeah, he's a masochist.
Well, we've seen him come back for more in Game 3. Final Destination is the pick. And considering how...
That was the fakest combo I've seen in my entire life.
That was
so cool. Anyway.
It didn't look like it should happen, but nonetheless.
Oh, no.
Now the battle begins. We've got a little bit of percentage tacked on.
What do you think of the counter pick here from Glenn?
It's a very interesting counter pick. I feel like it sort of matches Game 1, where with Battlefield there was a lot of room allotted to Glentendo to maneuver around and cover space with his projectiles. And I feel like that's really what helped him survive as well as adapt throughout that Game 1. Game 2, we saw Smashville, a little bit less space, and of course the platform really helping Riz maintain his pressure game on Glentendo. So sitting here, we've got tons of space, a lot of it aerial space, mind you, that projectiles just love to cover, but no platforms, a little bit further down from the ceiling, so Riz is going to have to work a bit harder for those ladder combos. All in all, it's going to be about how well Glenn can keep his feet on the ground and keep his pressure game on with his projectiles. Because if it's looking like this, it's looking rather rough.
I was actually waiting for the bomb to potentially blow up in the bubble right there, but that didn't kill him. Again, all very valid points right here. And you see Riz is kind of jumping around, ever so slightly navigating these projectiles. Gonna get the air dodge read into the back air, gets a strong hit of the back air. Not gonna be enough. Glenn gonna have the bomb on deck to mix up his recovery angle.
But no tech means no dice for that recovery. So sitting at 27%, Riz looking like on the verge of stealing this one right out from under Glenn. But it's early yet in the game. At the very least, we've made it further than Game 2.
Yes.
So...
And again, Toon Link's damage output is also incredibly good, so if Glenn gets a couple of good reads, you can definitely even things up.
One thing we just saw that I just realized we didn't see in the previous two games, Toon Link's back throw is notable for being one of the strongest back throws in the game. However, it doesn't look like... Oh no, Glenn's coming back to stage just fine. Riz not able to confirm the kill off that back air. Now sitting with his feet firmly back on stage, but getting pummeled.
And I see Riz starting to power shield a lot more of these projectiles. Definitely taking more note of the startup that's on Boomerang and such.
Yeah, when it comes to the projectile characters in this game, Toon Link, while having impressive projectiles and a lot of variety between what he can do with them, unfortunately, that little bit of startup behind them is where he lacks in that category, which is why he's such a good hybrid of kind of grappling, kind of zoning.
He's a grower.
Yeah.
Riz trying to read a roll in, potentially from Glenn. Oh my! If he comboed the bomb into shuttle loop, he's a bad man.
Sick.
There you go. Gets the up tilt into the up air. Glenn continuing to chip away at this lead. Maybe trying to get himself back in the thick of things if he's careful.
Yeah, it's going to take a bit more work, though. As these percentages climb, it's going to be a bit harder for him to get those early percentage combos that matter so much for Toon Link. And even at that, the percentage that's building further is just going to keep the pressure even deeper on him. And he just can't get the kill at this point. Neither of them just bouncing around on the stage. Riz looking to continue that pressure onto the opposite side. And
oh my goodness. This offstage game is just insane. Like, it doesn't really look like as much of an answer to that when Metaknight just goes out there, going for it.
His mobility is so clean, and he doesn't really have to worry about the bomb exploding at any point. Nair puts out so much pressure just in its near existence that Glenn has to respect all of the space that Metaknight could be moving around in.
See, Riz is kind of opting back, doesn't really have to commit to too much. Up throw will do it.
Yep, he's going to drop us nice and fresh, keeping it open for Riz, and 2-1 over Glenn. Looks like that's another mark on the chalkboard for him.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because I know